Greetings.
You're on Spellbinder.
I'm Hellhound.
And today we're doing Ghostbusters.
That's right. And now focus on the original two movies and both of the cartoon shows.
Yeah. What's your favorite out of all of them?
Out of like all the movies and TV shows?
Yeah.
I really like the real Ghostbusters cartoon. I thought that was really
You
good.
need to be specific, because if you say that, people think it's that show with that gorilla.
Oh yeah, the original Ghostbusters, which was unrelated. That was even before the movie. Just had the same name. I think that's why they had to call the first cartoon the real Ghostbusters, to avoid.
I prefer the extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I like that too. And that would have been a good premise for a new movie. Have the original team recruit some new members and, teach them, their ways, teach them their ghost hunting skills. Like they could be their apprentices.
One thing I didn't like about the real Ghostbusters was because originally they had Lorenzo Music be Venkman, but then Bill Murray complained and they changed
like
it.
Garfield. And then Dave Coulier voiced him.
But then when they did Extreme Ghostbusters, they had Lorenzo Music come back, which was weird.
I thought Lorenzo Music had a great Peter Venkman voice. And then, ironically, Bill Murray voiced Garfield in the live-action movie years and years later.
And he did a shitty job of it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, a little bit of hypocrisy there, if you ask me.
When you think about it, the movies, technically, the mayor and all those guys are doing the right thing, because the Ghostbusters technically are really dangerous.
Yeah.
They're carrying around nuclear reactors on their backs.
Yeah, unlicensed nuclear accelerators that haven't even been tested, like on their first ghost hunting expedition. Everybody usually says, Ghostbusters 2 sucks, and, it's a terrible sequel, one of the worst, yada yada. I mean, well, it does kind of rehash a lot of the elements of the first movie. It's, almost like the same events happen, but I love it. I think it's very underrated. I think it's a great sequel. I think it's one of my favorite movie series that only comprises of 2 films, by far. So, I'll never understand the hate that Ghostbusters 2 gets. I thought it was an excellent continuation from the first film, a great follow-up. It was cool how, Dana Barrett now had a son, Oscar, and then that guy Vigo, Lord Vigo, is trying to be reborn. I thought he was kind of a more interesting villain than Gozer in the first film, played by that punk rock looking chick who didn't really do much.
Why did she look like that?
I don't know. She could take any form, but she chose I think it was actually a he, and he chose to look like that.
Wait, I thought it was one of those things where it's an extra-dimensional being, but when it comes to our world, it takes a form that they can understand and see.
Well, yeah, probably. If we think of J. Edgar Hoover will appear and destroy the city.
Ray, what did you think of?
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I think it's funny how he explodes like something nutted all over the city.
Yeah, they used shaving cream, didn't they?
I don't know. But Ron Jeremy was in the crowd, so
yeah.
You can probably guess what it was.
Yeah, figures.
I got a question. The ghosts are supposed to be they look like what they did when they died. So, what was Slimer?
What the hell was Slimer supposed to be? Dan Aykroyd joked that it was the ghost of John Belushi. Belushi, sorry. Because he was supposed to be one of the Ghostbusters. But, unfortunately he died. Eddie Murphy was supposed to play Winston Zeddemore.
What happened with that?
I don't know. Ernie Hudson played him instead. He did a good job, but, Eddie Murphy
Another
was
thing
awesome.
that bothered me, Ernie Hudson was supposed to be in the beginning of the movie, but they brought him in halfway to give Bill Murray more stuff.
He didn't really do much in the first film. He was a lot more prominent in the sequel. On the scene with the ghost train and then all the severed heads on sticks. That was awesome. Where's the one thing I don't understand? Okay, the first movie, Gozer has her 2 terror dogs. Zool and Vince Clortho. The 2 demon-looking things that possess people. One of them possesses...
Clortho? What?
Yeah, Zool and Vince Clortho. That's the 2 terror dogs.
No, wait. Is it one word or 2 words? Vince Clortho.
2 words. Vince Clortho.
Vince Clortho.
Yeah. And, those are her 2 minions. Yeah, the Gatekeeper and the Keymaster. And, I guess they're supposed to mate and bring forth Armageddon or whatever. Summon Gozer.
Wait. No question. They're supposed to do all that. Why do they appear 2 separate locations and don't know what the other one looks like?
Good question. Well, what I don't understand is, okay, yeah, Dana gets possessed by Zool. And then she's like all like sexy and seductive, all demonic. Lewis Tully, played by Rick Moranis, gets possessed by Vince Clortho.
And
he's
still,
the same exact
he's
personality.
Still Rick Moranis.
He's still a dork. He's just an evil dork. It's like, wouldn't it be cooler like if he'd been like a nerd the whole movie, then when he gets possessed, he's like all badass and like dark and evil?
No, because it's still Rick Moranis.
Well, yeah, I guess Rick Moranis can't do that. So. But yeah, I always thought that was weird. But then again, compare Zool's sophisticated method for possessing Dana, the arms coming out of the chair and then dragging her to the door, to Vince Clortho's clumsy method where he runs into walls, breaks doors, hits his head, has to chase him, all the way to that restaurant where nobody seems to give a crap that he's getting attacked.
You know what's funny though? They did that, but then they in Lost World, that guy's at the movie store. He's trying to open the door, and now starts coming at him like, "Hey, wait! I remember."
I think that was a reference to Ghostbusters for sure.
Yeah, but then again, if he's that stupid, of course he would take over Rick Moranis.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess that's just his personality. He has to be a bigger dork than Lewis.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I always wanted one of those proton packs.
I had the jumpsuit.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure those things run on depleted uranium or something.
Yeah. I think, Extreme Ghostbusters should have lasted longer. It was only 40 episodes long, while Real Ghostbusters, which came out in, I think, 1986, I think that had like 100-something episodes. Maybe even almost 200.
I mean, for a kid show, 40 episodes is pretty good.
Yeah, true. It was like 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah.
While Real Ghostbusters, I think, was like 7 seasons. And I like how they changed Egon to a blonde in the cartoon, and they made Janine like have that different red hair, that weird style, and they emulated that in Ghostbusters 2. They made her look just like her cartoon appearance.
I do like how in Extreme Ghostbusters, the first ghost they meet actually takes Egon out.
Yeah, it does.
It's up to the new Ghostbusters to stop it.
I think Frank Welker did the voice effects for Slimer, the cartoon. Did Slimer talk in Extreme Ghostbusters? I remember him talking.
Yes and no. Like, he could say words, but he like,
yeah, pretty much.
Like a Tasmanian devil.
You look marvelous. And they did that spin-off, Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters. It didn't last very long.
What spin-off?
It was like a spin-off of the first cartoon. I don't even think it really amounted to anything. But basically, there was only 2 cartoon series.
And another thing about the Extreme Ghostbusters, it was really progressive in like the storylines or some of the episodes. Like one of them, like a rabbi brings the golem to life because his kid's been like messing with him. I don't want to say mosque, like a temple, like graffitiing and all that. And like turns out they're friends of the kid that was in the wheelchair. That's another thing, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And like another one, they go into the sewers. They got to face their fears. It's really cool.
Oh yeah. Remember that one episode of Real Ghostbusters where like they were working for that old lady. Turned out she was like this demonic being. It was so obvious that she was going to be a villain. And I think what was the first episode? It was like this family of like I don't really think they were ghosts.
Yeah, it was the first episode.
They were like demons or something. Like, no, Dad, I want to play too.
We're the ghost grabbers.
Yeah. Oh god, such a great show. I grew up with that. And then, Ninja Turtles and Thundercats and all that. Such a great cartoon. Yeah, I really would have loved to have seen a third film.
They could have replaced somebody else.
It would have been weird without Peter Venkman, though. Dan Aykroyd, as Ray and Ray Stantz, and like he's gonna be blind in one eye and stuff. Like he was retired, and I think Egon Spengler was there too. This is before Harold Ramis died, of course. And like I was like, that didn't sound too bad. And I think they were gonna mentor like a new team of Ghostbusters.
So it would be like Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly. I think they were gonna do that, but then. Hellhound in Part 2 when the Titanic arrives. It has
better late than
Chimera.
never.
Yeah, better late than never. Yeah.
Okay, one thing I made me wonder about the pink slime. Where'd it come from in the first place?
Well, they explain like it's from like people's negativity and like their hatred and stuff. It makes it, but yeah.
No. I mean, like, what was it doing in the sewers?
Good question. I don't know. Like, which came first? Like, was that making people more negative, or was their negativity making that stuff stronger?
They
or whatever?
didn't explain any of that. They just somehow slamming negative, and then they go to that trial and ghosts.
Oh my God! It's the Scolari brothers.
Who's that? I remember that judge from something else.
Yeah, he's a character actor. He's been in a lot of movies. Yeah, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff.
No, I remember somebody did the special effects for that scene, but I can't remember who it is though. And I was watching a thing the other day, and they were talking about it. And, like I've forgotten.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Remember they used one of the rejected ghost puppets. I think it was the library ghost. They used that for the movie Fright Night. I'm not sure what scene they used it for. Maybe the bat. I don't know, but it was still pretty scary in the finished version.
Another thing that I really liked was the Ghostbusters video game that came out in was it 2009?
I think so. Somewhere.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, it's like you're a new recruit and you team with the Ghostbusters. Like, you go to the hotel and
it plays out like the first movie.
Yeah, but then it goes like off the rails.
Yeah.
Like you fight Slimer, then you fight another ghost. Then you fight Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Then you fight the librarian. Then you go into hell.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell did that happen?
It was weird because it was like a sequel. It was like
it felt like an actual sequel.
The first two movies, but like all the same events happened like in the first film, like Slimer.
Well, no, they happen again.
Man. Yeah.
Like you show up and like it breaks open, they all escape.
True. Yeah, that was a good idea. I have it for PS3 and PSP and Nintendo DS. The DS version's a lot different, but
you know what I don't understand that it bothered me about? To get information on the ghost, you got to scan it when you fight it, but you don't get that till like the first level.
The PKE meter.
No. Well, yes. But how did you get the information on the first ghost you fight in the firehouse without?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
And then we also have.
Oh God, no!
This piece of shit.
Why do you have that?
Good question, but it's terrible. It's worse. This is worse than the Friday the 13th game, I think.
The Friday the 13th game wasn't bad. It's just like really complicated.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Goonies 2 NES game. But yeah, I think that was the.
And there it is.
But what do you think was the coolest ghost out of the first two movies?
That's a good question. But when you think about it, they didn't really have a whole lot of ghosts in the two movies.
Yeah, there really wasn't. I thought that dinosaur-looking one in part 2 that was coming like underneath the bridge, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
A lot of them didn't look like dead humans at all.
Yeah.
All the ghosts, all the spirits that came off the Titanic did, and then that one that jogging guy in part 2 that they catch during the little montage, and the library ghosts. Some of them do, but some of them just look like some otherworldly creatures or something. There was the zombie driving the taxi.
And like Jim Henson. That's it.
Yeah,
Jim Henson.
Yeah, he did a lot of my favorite creature effects. Oh,
yeah.
He was great. And then the fur coat becoming alive. Who's your favorite Ghostbuster?
All together?
Yeah.
TV shows included?
Well, I think the original four.
Honestly, I really didn't like any of them, to be honest.
See, I'm not and not played by different actors. See, I was worried that they were going to go with they're going to make a Ghostbusters movie having Seth Rogen and Michael Cera or Jesse Eisenberg, people like that. Jonah Hill. I was worried they were going to do that.
About Jim Ghostbusters, every one of them has something different about them. Like she carries the trap.
Yeah.
And, it's a whole bunch of different stuff. It's really cool.
Well, it's funny in the movies how Ray and Egon are the ones who supply all the equipment. They're the ones who do all the scientific stuff. They're the ones who just run everything. Yet somehow Peter's still kind of a leader.
He's the leader? I thought Egon was the leader.
I don't know. It kind of seems like he's the one who calls the shots. He's the one who makes all the important decisions and tells the others what to do.
I think that was because Bill Murray said that, and
yeah, probably.
Otherwise he wouldn't do it.
Well, I know Dan Aykroyd wrote all the jokes and stuff for Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's kind of a jerk.
Well, I mean, if it's true that he's the one who ruined Ghostbusters 3 from happening, that's definitely unfortunate. It's definitely a shame. He hasn't done anything really recently, anything noteworthy.
The last thing I saw.
Ghostbusters 3 would be ideal.
The last thing I
his
saw him.
career.
The last thing I saw of it was in Zombieland.
Yeah, that was cool. They did a little Ghostbusters reference in that. Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou was like his last starring role that I can think of. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, pretty much. And no, we're not going to play this when the video ends. So.
Yeah, go watch the cartoons. They're good.
Yeah, go watch the cartoons. I actually have a few of the volumes of the real Ghostbusters. Just a few of the different episodes. And the Ghostbusters 2 Special Edition DVD comes with a couple episodes as bonus features. The DVD sets are really expensive. They haven't released all of Extreme Ghostbusters either. I think they did like a set back in 2009, and it only had like a few of the episodes. They need to release a full complete box set of that whole series. It's only 40 episodes. It wouldn't be that hard. A complete series set does exist of real Ghostbusters, but I've only been able to find it for like $200. I haven't found it any cheaper than that. Yeah, it's a little extreme. Pardon the pun. But, yeah, like the Statue of Liberty scene at the end of Ghostbusters 2, I think they just put that in there to rival the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from the original. It's like there were a lot of scenes that were repeated, like a lot of rehashed elements, but I still think it was a great sequel. Very underrated. I feel like it'd be incomplete without another movie. You know, if there's only ever one movie, I wouldn't be quite as huge of a fan as I am. But, yeah, I think that about covers everything. Ghostbusters rules. Go watch the movies. Go watch the cartoons. Play the video game that came out a few years ago. Avoid this piece of shit like a disease-ridden whore. And until next time, I'm Hellhound.
I'm Spellbinder.
And thank you for watching Dead Level Discussions.
Go fuck yourselves.
Peace.